Hey everyone, hoi allemaal. Well, as you can see by the previous clips, let me scoot. That all needs organizing. I've been putting it off because I thought it was like a winter job and a lot of bulbs need to still come in and blah 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 blah. But step one in organizing them is sorting through all the bulb, the cardboard or the packaging, just to see what I have, if I have anything double, because I only need one package to remember, or at least in my case, because I have a, let me show you. I have a big folder that is literally exploding. This is the folder I mean. It's full of all plastic, I don't know how you call them, inserts I think, but they contain all the labels and tags from plants which have tags, which are these first 10 are the balcony or the roof terrace things. These are from the living room, so indoor plants and outdoor plants, but mainly this is bursting, because as you can see, well, maybe not. As you can see, it's like bursting, and when it's closed, it's like that. So I scurried around for an empty one. So I'm going to also divide it in two. And like I said, one of the first jobs is sorting through all these packaging, because some are double, like here. These are tulips, and I know I have another one. Or I should have, but maybe not. And there's a lot of dust flying, because this was also the cat's favorite napping spot in the office. So he won't like all this cleaning up, but hey, he's got to deal with it. So first I'm going to sort through all this, and then the next step is also, well, putting it in the correct folders and stuff. But before I do that, I also entered into my spreadsheet in Excel, which I use to give me some organization and to see when something is flowering and when I need some flowers, or when it's too much or something like that. That's where these also come in handy, because we planted some gorgeous hellebore like this. This is Helleborus orientalis double Ellen red. Now, gorgeous, not? So then I will note down when it flowers, which it doesn't say. Too bad. But hey. And we also bought a couple of new hocheras, which we also put in the ground already. So yeah. But again, first step, tackling this mess. So before I go any further and kill you with time lapses, I would just want to add some word to what I'm doing. It's not difficult, at least not to me, but hey, that's just me. So what I did is I went from a pile like this with a lot of extra paper to smaller piles. And again, it's disappointing to see that this one isn't bigger. I do like to have a picture with it, so that's why I didn't just use this instead of like, okay, these also came from a bigger one, but hey, they have all the information I need, including a picture, so I can remember. I'm a visual person, so yeah. So what I do, let's take this one for example, and one-handedly take it apart. There's a lot of extra dust coming out of them, so I sort them out to see what have double. Okay, this is an allium. I'm not going to pronounce that, but it's also double, so I know that I need to write on one of these that I like that it's ×2, so that I know in the end I should have 10, in theory at least. Oh, and some extra Helleborus that we planted not recently. I think these have been in the ground for at least a month and a half. But since I didn't sort them in my folders, again, I just tucked them into here so I know which where they went. And these went in the work dam garden or area, however you want to call it. So I came across some extra, so I made some piles for those as well. So I need to make an extra one for this. But that's basically what I do. So I just make a big old mess, because you can see there's a lot of dust and dirt and coming out of them, but working through it. But yeah, like this is a daffodil, Narcissus trepolo, which I have 10 of probably, and well, I just make it smaller, so then in the folders which I have next to me, it doesn't amount to a big stack of anything. They won't go into the folders with the paper clips or the extra name tags, since on the plastic sheets I have the name written of the garden area, but this is just for me so I remember which is which. So yeah. Let's continue on. I hope you understand, and I will maybe explain it a bit more when I'm going to put them into the folders as well. But for me, I like to save all the tags, because I will remember a lot of plant names, but especially bulbs. I know it's a daffodil, or I know it's this is also a daffodil. This is curlew, I don't know, but I will not remember which variety it is, so I know, or at least I like to have these tags. Same goes for the plants. And I do not save doubles. It's the same for planttags and bulbtags. I just write on the back how many we planted, and if I see that I planted multiple of them, like maybe again in a couple of years I will replant the same Helleborus, for example, and I find them in my folder, I will just rewrite them and just say, hey, we now have 4 in total in this area. Originally, because I know the Helleborus, at least the ones that are already present and established in the garden, that's what I was going for, are multiplying themselves pretty easily. So hey, maybe the new ones will also do that, which I don't mind. I love Helleborus, so yeah. Let's finish up the last 2 areas, because I have this one which I already sort of unpinned, and I have this one, and those I need to also sort, but I know where to go, so that's easy. So this is what I ended up with. A bunch of piles with plant tags. I also sorted some plant tags from plants that we planted. These have been in the ground, I think, at least in September, like this hydrangea, for example. There are a couple of other hydrangeas which we picked up in a garden center when they were on clearance, which, well, gorgeous. So yeah, so the next step is going to be entering them into my spreadsheet. And then it's going to be putting them in folders and spreading those out, because the one on the bottom is like bursting out of its seams. But that's a job for, I think I'm going to continue tomorrow, we'll see. But I'm also losing light and, well, motivation, to be honest. So yeah, for you it's going to be like 2 seconds when this video continues. For me, we'll have to see. So here I am again, recording this for the second time, and I hope my last. Something went wrong with the screen recording of my MacBook, but fingers crossed, second time it will work. So for me it's a new day. For you it's the, like, what is it, 2, maybe 4 seconds later. But I'm going to continue on with the organization of the plant tags. In this case, the bulb tags first and then the perennial plants. And I wanted to show you where since part of it is in storage on my computer in my spreadsheet, which you see before you. And the third step is also putting it away in the folders, which are physically. This is, well, you could say online. So this is my spreadsheet again. This tab that is now open is specifically for all the bulbs, which they are divided by area of the garden. So this is the field shed, daddy flamingo, magnolia, and so on. I also have on the top the dates, the months, I should say. And I just put them down when they are flowering, not when they are showing foliage. Just the flowering times I put down just to see what I have, or yes, when something is flowering and when I know when I need to add stuff again. And this one is specifically for the bulbs. I have another one, and I'm sorry, it's all in Dutch, so if you're Dutch you're lucky because you can read everything and maybe spot a few secrets, I don't know. But this is my perennial sheet, which same structure. Every area of the garden is put out or has a separate section, and all the perennials are added in here. I do have to note these are all the flowering perennials that I put in here. I have a separate tab for plants that stay green during the year, because sometimes they do flower and sometimes they don't. It's a combination. So as you can see in the field shed, which I will be adding the bulbs in first, I have flowers starting from January with the Helleborus all the way till October. The hibiscus should be flowering then, because this is just tag information. It could be that in my garden they stop in September, but I'm just going off the information on the tag and not what is actually happening inside my garden, because that I do not take into account. I just look at it and say, hey, what information it says on the tag, and usually that corresponds with my garden very well. Sometimes it means that they flower a little later, also of course according to the weather, how that affects them. And also they can stop flowering earlier due to weather or whatever. but they can also flower for longer. But this is basically what the tag tells me that they are flowering in, that I put down in my spreadsheet, so that I can get a clear overview of what should be flowering, and what should not, and where my gaps are in my garden. So I had the field shed as a pretty defined flowering time. I could use some extra in the first 3 months, and maybe even in the last 2 if I can find stuff that flowers. Sometimes Helleborus. I know my Helleborus have been flowering for, I think, since the end of December. But again, that's not according to their tag information, but there is some variance about it or with it. And I decided not to combine the perennials with the bulbs. For one, it would be too much for me, and second, for me it's easy enough to combine it in my head, so to say. So according to bulbs here in the field shed, I could use some that are flowering in January, February. That usually means galanthus, snowflake, I believe in English. And I could use some that are flowering a little later in June, July and August, I should say. And maybe even find something that blooms in September, October, November, December, but that depends on the bulbs. I'm not sure if there are any bulbs that flower that late, but I at least know that I could probably source some that flower July, August, September. But I know that according to the tags, the alliums bloomed way longer than June, but hey, I'm just going off the tag information, not doing anything that's real. And maybe what I should have started with is saying this is not for everyone. This is what I like. This gives me overview and perspectives, especially since I came into this garden. I've been living here, or full-time officially, this is my address for, I would say now, a year and a half, maybe coming on to 2. No, year and a half. 2 is too soon. But I've been with my boyfriend who lives here for almost 4 years now. So I've been coming here, and especially since I started getting more involved in the garden and wanted to add to it, I wanted to find a way that would work for me to say, hey, where are the gaps? What areas do need more flowering? What areas can we develop? And so on and so on. So that's why I developed this system, which works for me. It will definitely not will work for you, because everyone's different. And maybe you do like it and say, hey, I can implement that for myself. Because like again, I said, it gave me a clear picture of where my garden was lacking. And since I took it over from my mother-in-law, she has done a lot of work in it previous to me. I needed to see, hey, what is here? And I sadly do not have all the information about the plants that she added, but I know the general names of them. Like we have a hibiscus on the side there. I know it's a hibiscus, but I do not know which variety. When it should flower according to that tag, but I can just Google it and say, hey, this is about the time frame it should flower. But yeah, again, this is what works for me and what I will be continuing to do, or at least I foresee myself continuing to do in the future. I will probably, since I did like the fact that I was saving the tags for like fall winter time, which is for me a more relaxing time, because in the summer the light's longer, we stay out more. So maybe I will just save them all to add into my spreadsheet at the end of the year. Maybe that's a thing I will do. Who knows? For now, I want to end with just adding a couple of name tags into my spreadsheet. The ones that are, I would call them purple, are the bulbs that I added in last year. Green is this year. So 2 I already added in. Muscari, so the grape hyacinth, and narcissus is daffodils. So I will add in another one just so you can see, not that it's anything special or anything, but this is the bulbs I bought this year, which ended up being this, which I can also add into my other spreadsheet. 1343. Which is like a big difference. Yeah. Sparkle. And some tags have the information when they flower with them. The Farmer Gracie tags do not, unfortunately. So I looked it up myself. This one, March, April. So yeah, that's how I will be adding them into all the spreadsheets. So the bulbs in the separate one than the perennials, and for the perennials I also have a maintenance sheet so that I know when I can cut them, which is of course according to their plant tag information. But yeah, that's basically it. So now I just gotta add, you can't see it yet, but a lot of tags, which hopefully will not take me too long, but we'll see. We shall see. I'm in luck. Someone else is going to do it for me. Ta-da! Yep. How you doing? He's ignoring me. Better get on with it. So the last step is upon, well, me and us, but mostly me. So I've put in all the plant tags from all the bulbs and all the perennial plants. I don't think my time-lapse captured it all, but it's the same thing, just putting them in. And with the perennials, I put them into my main spreadsheet for the flowering plants. And also if the tag says something about maintenance, these hydrangeas said something about maintenance. So in March, chop them down to 30 centimeters from the ground. So that's easy. So I just put that into my maintenance sheet. And usually I remember those things, but hey, if I'm going through the trouble of putting all those tags into my sheet, I might as well do it all and do it well. Yeah. So like I mentioned before, or maybe I think I've shown this map once before, but it contains all the plant tags from, these are the rooftop terrace, all the green tags. And this is when it starts, the garden, well, outside or well downstairs, because of course it's outside. But as you can see, it's like exploding and getting very big. So I have another one, so I'll just divide them up equally. And yeah, just put all the tags in there. It's not really a big, it's well, the most easy of all the jobs I'm doing now. So yeah, let's get that done. And maybe, oh, let me grab these. Ooh. my reach is limited because I'm charging my gimbal also. I forgot. I also got these pamphlets from Farmer Gracie, just some care about the narcissi, so daffodils, fritillaria and alliums, which I thought is handy, so I'm going to keep those and also put these in these folders. So yeah, let's get cracking. So this is the end result. I divided it up. Well, I just put everything into its rightful plastic folder thingy. So this, for example, is the in-between garden. So everything that goes in the in-between garden and has a label, I will just put in here. And like I said, or maybe not, but if it doesn't have a tag, I only will put it in my spreadsheet, which I still have open on my computer. But if it has a tag, I'll also put it in here so that I know everything. Oh, everything has its place. But I did divide it up into 2 folders. I think I will maybe end up with 1 folder per garden area in the end. But hey, we'll see. For now, this is much better than it was. And yeah. Wobbly wobbly. So thank you for watching. I hope this was useful to you or not. You were like, yeah, I don't save my tags. I never will. I'm not gonna. Well, fine, then don't save your tags. Or maybe you're like, yeah, I want to start cataloging what plants are flowering when, just to give you a good overview. And maybe this system will work for you. Maybe another system that you come up with works for you, or somebody else on YouTube or anywhere on the World Wide Web has made another sort of system. Well, use that. I'm not saying that you need to use my system. I'm just saying I wanted to show you my system. And also I needed it done, so I was like, yeah, I might as well make a video out of it. And I'm glad I'm done with it. And I think this is going to be a regular occurrence, at least for me, that I'm going to inventory all these tags in the winter time, or maybe at the end of the year or something, or maybe in between when I have time, since, well, like I said, in the summer it's nice to be outside instead of inside. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, bye everyone. Dag allemaal.